Next, we bring you our fourth recipient, Lara Tavares of Toronto. Having grown up in a family surrounded by computers and access to digital information, Lara realized early on that a computer was a valuable resource that offers limitless opportunities. Passionate about technology and its importance in education, Lara felt it was her calling to offer a solution to the digital divide in Canada. The digital divide is defined as the gap between people who have computers and those who do not, and is based on the idea that you have is what you earn. Those without access to computers are deprived of equal opportunities. And in 2004, Lara founded Sky's the Limit Youth Organization, STL, in Toronto. The purpose of this nonprofit organization is to give refurbished computers to underprivileged students who otherwise would not have this educational gateway. As founder and holding the full-time volunteer position of executive director, Lara is responsible for the implementation, outreach, administration, and sourcing of donors. Targeting students in underprivileged areas, such as Toronto's Regent Park, Lara's work hand in hand with other nonprofit organizations such as Youth in Motion and Regent Park's Pathways to Education program to gain first-hand knowledge of which students legitimately require computers. When a student is identified as in needs, Lara stops at nothing until a computer has been delivered into his or her hands. More often than not, Lara personally delivers the computer. And in 2007, Lara volunteered in excess of 2,500 hours, committing 100% of her time and energy to the cause. Having been able to donate over 100 computers in 2007 throughout Ontario, it is Lara's goal to increase her donation numbers so that eventually no student in Canada is in need. She has also recently started advocating awareness of the damage done to the environment by discarded PCs. She is personally aware of thousands of children across the country who are living without access to this vital resource, and they are quickly being left behind. She wants us to know, to realize that in today's society, a young person without a computer is unable to keep up with their education, their connection to resources, their common ground to peers in the playground or at lunch. It can lead to bullying, isolation, and a lack of self-esteem. Lara's vision and the mandate behind STL is that by providing students with access to computers, today's youth will be given the potential for enhanced success. And on a recent trip to Shawanaga, First Nations community in Northern Ontario, she visited with band leaders and community elders and learned about the despair felt by their youth due to the severe lack of resources. Hearing this firsthand, Lara was galvanized to take immediate action and accelerated her plans. And as a result, she will be delivering 80 computers to this First Nations community next month. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Lara Tavares.
Gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar.
I'm still feeling overwhelmed by Robin's speech, so please bear with me if I'm a little bit emotional. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Rogers Media, GAP, Cadbury's, and Flair Magazine for your ongoing support of volunteers and your commitment to Canada's voluntary sector. The awareness that you have generated has made it easier for me to achieve my personal goals, and I deeply, deeply appreciate your support. Thank you to Terry Power and Sapphire Technologies Canada for nominating me and for your continued invaluable support. Thank you, Hazel Pico, Martina Strateski, and the rest of the amazing Flair team for the GAP photo shoot yesterday. This is truly a magical experience, and I feel so lucky to be in the company of my fellow award winners today. When Hazel called me to tell me I was one of the winners, I reached for the phone and I called my brother Ramon right away. He was so proud of my nomination, and he told me that today, the day of the Flair Awards, would be the proudest day of his life. Well, here we are, and this is the proudest day of my life. I get to share this accomplishment with family and friends, and many of my volunteers are here today. They've all encouraged me from the day I first dreamt up Sky's the Limit. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your guidance and support. You've truly made this organization your own, and you're responsible for the impact that we've made on the kids that we serve. I believe that each of us has a role to play and a chance for leadership if we choose to take it. Do you want to have a connection with those you help? What are the unique gifts that you can bring? Not just our money, but our time is the most enduring gift that we have to give. Do that thing that you think you can't do. It will build your courage, it will build your self-respect, and it will build your strength. There are many ways that I believe that we can address our social obligation to take care of our fellow human beings. Be alert to suffering in your community. Don't turn away, but rather make an attempt, no matter how small, to do something. This is real power. Sometimes the issues that confront us can seem so huge, so remote, so foreign, that it's hard to think that you can even make a difference. You can think and act globally. You can think and act locally. I visited an orphanage in Kenya last summer. I was part of a team that taught basic computer skills to over 700 orphans aged 1 to 25. One day, a young girl ran into the classroom in tears. She had lost her pencil, and it was her only pencil. Later on that night, as the volunteers all gathered around, many of the volunteers expressed how upset they were that this girl was hysterical because she'd lost her only pencil, which meant no more work until she'd managed to find another pencil. I remembered a student I was tutoring in Regent Park a couple of years ago, and he too had lost his only pencil. Sometimes it may be easier to focus on something small, something as direct as donating a bag of pencils, or a computer. Thousands of kids in Canada go home every night to a house without a computer, and they're falling behind. I believe that something should be done to address this disparity, because the internet is a major learning resource and it should be available to everyone. Visits to deliver computers often take me and the Sky's the Limit volunteers to areas and homes that we are not accustomed to, and the reality of life in these communities can be very difficult to comprehend. When I feel overwhelmed by the injustices of it all, I let go of the need to try to save the world by remembering my personal mission statement. I will live a compassionate life devoted to bettering the lives of others. I will not allow the suffering of the world to alter my perception and appreciation of goodness. Volunteer. It is good for your community. It is good for your planet. Most importantly, it is good for your soul. Therein lies the power of changing just not one person's life, but of impacting communities all across Canada. Thank you.